It never gets any easier.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize.
I'm sorry. Has anybody ever taken their clothes off on this thing?
Hey, what's going on? And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. For First We Feast, I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And today we're joined by Sebastian Maniscalco. He's one of stand-up comedy's biggest acts with 6 specials to his name. His latest, Is It Me?, is currently streaming on Netflix. Check out the Pete and Sebastian Show on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And he also stars in a brand new comedy series coming to HBO Max. It's called Bookie, and it premieres on November 30th. Sebastian Maniscalco, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
What's going through your head as you prepare to take on the Gauntlet? Are you someone who naturally reaches for the hot sauce?
I like hot sauce on my eggs, actually, in the morning, but nothing quite like... These look threatening.
Right.
But I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you. I have stuff to do after this today, and I'm hoping I make those commitments. Okay, at the handle. I gotta tell you, first one is like something that you would get at your bar. You're watching your game, and this is what comes out.
Exactly.
That's what this is equivalent to. No problem.
So in your new show, Bookie, you play the role of a bookmaker, chasing down unpaid debts from dubious characters and reckoning with an uncertain future as sports betting becomes legalized. What, if anything, have you picked up on the insights inside the mind of a bookie or a gambler spending so much time performing in cities like Atlantic City and Las Vegas?
I used to gamble myself. This is when I was waiting tables at the Four Seasons Hotel. I would go to Vegas maybe once a month to see if I could beat the casino. My whole mindset was, hey, if I win $1,000 this weekend, I could take a week off from waiting tables and do what I want to do, which was comedy. That never worked. So, yeah, I could have won more money that I was making, but now it brings me absolutely no joy. And the only way you could walk out of a casino with money is performing at it. So that's the route I took. Oh, yeah, Shishito. No, I noticed Matt Damon, when you had him on, was chucking his wings into this garbage can.
Yeah.
What's the etiquette on an eaten wing? Do we leave it on the table, or?
You know, I do, because, you know, we roll out the red carpet treatment for our guests, but over here, I'm blind. Oh, I actually do have a garbage can. Maybe I just never noticed it until now. But I kind of leave them on the board.
You leave them on the board? Okay, I'm leaving mine on the board. I don't know if you're picking this up on the camera here, the eaten ones, but if it's looking awful, let me know. I'll start discarding.
So like you, I'm a product of Chicago's northwest suburbs. Growing up, did you have a favorite regional TV commercial? When we had Bob Odenkirk on the show, he shouted out Schmoller Ford, but I'm kind of like a Roarin' Bob Rohrman guy, or I like the Empire jingle a lot.
I'm with you with the Empire. 588-2300
Empire.
Still remember that from 8 years old. There's also a commercial, I forget the actual, I think it was for auto insurance. They had a guy to go and get in a car and the door fell off the car. I don't remember what commercial that was for.
Oh, yeah,
that was like some auto insurance company back in the day. I'm trying to wrap my brain around.
Is that Eagle Man? Like, must call
Eagle Man.
Another
one, Eagle Man.
Eagle Man too, yeah.
It was like a hawk that flew on the woman's shoulder.
Came in kind of a mascot.
Perillo Ford. Is it Perillo Ford?
Yeah, Perillo Ford.
This is regional humor, people. I don't know if anybody else is getting this, but we're having a ball. But yeah, those were probably my favorites growing up. I think you guys forgot to sauce that up. I'm not feeling nothing on that. By the way, I have to point out, I know on a lot of your shows, it's just a black tablecloth.
Yeah.
Who's ever doing the set design here? has to be commended, not only for the beautiful fringe.
Yes.
Pumpkin glass.
It's in the details
You
over
don't
here,
get
Dom.
this.
It's in the details with Dom.
Thanks, Dom.
So Melissa McCarthy was on the show. She told me that one of her comedy cheat codes is people watching the aisles of Big Lots stores. As you become successful, do you still purposefully do everyday things like go to the grocery store to get new material?
Yeah, I try to put myself in a lot of these moments to extract material. Obviously, it's a little bit more difficult now than it was when I had nothing to do. I literally had nothing to do between 1998 and 2005. Not busy. I would go to Target. I would just walk around a bookstore looking for self-help books, lost.
Right.
And I would run into material. But now that I'm doing, popular shows like Hot Ones, who's got the time? But yeah, I like humor from everyday situations. I think people could relate to that type of humor. I've concentrated a lot of my humor now on family and parenting and being a father. So that's kind of serving me well, but I always love those moments where I'm like, oh, this is like an everyday occurrence. So you guys are producing your own.
But if you don't like it, you can let us know.
It's not a matter of liking or disliking. Mm-hmm. With the hot, it's like, am I going to have a problem with this later on? Or is it manageable throughout the interview?
Right, and you know what? Knocking down the fourth wall here. This is a 10 a.m. shoot. Very early Hot One shoot, and it's brave of you, Sebastian.
You know what? I'm actually, something's happening. As I'm talking, I'm out of breath, and I don't know if that's a side effect.
It's the show. That's the show.
Or I'm passing away. It could be either. So, where was I? I literally felt like lightheaded, but go ahead.
Yeah. How do you know if an hour of comedy is hitting? Like, is it feel in the room? Is it critics? Is it a trusted inner circle? Like, what is the focus group testing of it?
It takes a while to get your set to be funny from front to back. You don't like to have lulls. You don't like to lose the attention of the audience. So what I like to do is have the next joke be as good or better than the last one. And it's difficult. It's difficult to do. And in this day and age where everything's out there, it's on the internet, people have seen it. And if they go to a show, God forbid, they see a joke that they saw on the internet, they're like, what are we paying for? So
Right.
You really got to churn the wheels and crank out material faster than you would have in, the 1980s.
That makes sense to me. Are you ready to move on here to sauce number 5, halfway mark?
Yeah.
This is the Jablo Power Jab, and this is kind of a step up.
Okay.
Not to lead the witness.
All right. Yeah, that's a step up. Oh, great. I'm sweating so much the microphone fell off my chest.
Is that right?
I'm kidding. Relax. Oh, my God. Oh, okay.
So prior to your breakthrough in Hollywood, I understand that you worked as a waiter at the Four Seasons for 7 years.
Yeah.
Which is a more savage group, comedy club hecklers or disgruntled diners?
Wow, man, no one's ever asked me that question, and it really is a good one. I would perform in front of hecklers any day of the week rather than people that waiting on people. Waiting on people, if you're ever in the hospitality business, you well know that people's requests are obscene and absurd.
And I imagine at the Four Seasons, that's like another level to that.
Just the way we used to give them a free nut caddy, right? You put a nut caddy and it had wasabi peas, almonds. People were eating this like an appetizer, right? And they would one woman I remember would flag me down. She goes, could we get a little bit more of the poo-poo tray? Oh, God. I had a rash down the back of my spine the rest of the shift. So I would get extremely irritated with these requests. One woman didn't like the wine glass. She felt the brim of the wine glass was too thick to place on her lips. Did we have a thinner wine glass? So after hearing these requests for 7 years, I'll take a heckler any day of the week. hot sauce, is that
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It's a whiskey smoked ghost here in the 6 spot.
By the way, I don't like that you call this a gauntlet. If we could change the name, that would...
How about like a lineup?
Great.
A little softer around the...
Gauntlet just sounds like death.
I'll soften the edges for you over here, okay?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it,
But kind of some late life on this one.
late life.
You know?
Yeah.
A little time release.
Yeah.
And then it hits. Is it true that someone once took off their shirt and wanted to fight you
Yeah.
during a show? Is that the most hostile reaction
Probably.
to your stand-up that you've ever experienced?
Yeah, that was at the Comedy Store early on. There was a guy... Sorry. It's not,
No need to apologize
It's
on this
not
show.
the fact that I don't know where the story's going. It's the fact that I don't know how loud the belch was going to be. Yeah. I was doing some crowd work. I was kind of making light of their relationship, or I don't know exactly what I said, but this guy took his shirt off, wanted to fight me, and then he was escorted out. So that was the only thing that I'd like, oh wow, this could get weird up here. Other than that, though, knock on wood, haven't had really any issues on stage.
That's good. I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
That's good to just have that one. All right, Sebastian, are you ready to move on here to sauce number 7?
Oh, this is the goat.
This is the goat.
This is your goat. Tropic Star. Here we go. By the way, when you had Foley on, that guy did not seem phased at all. I mean, I don't know what the hell that guy's made out of.
Yeah.
He was eating this like it was cereal.
It's hot. $10, I'll chug this whole bottle.
Well, I guess when you get body slammed on thumbtacks, this is nothing.
Yeah, like what's the hot ones gauntlet?
There you go again.
There you go. What do you think is your dad's favorite part of being famous? You know, hearing some of your stories, it seems like, you know, he's maybe more into the trappings of success than you are.
Yeah, so my dad will go out to a restaurant and try and get noticed, right? He'll like throw the last name around like that's gonna like hold some weight. He says, I went to a restaurant last night and made a reservation on a Maniscalco. No free dessert? I go, what? I don't even get free dessert. So he's my biggest fan. He's my biggest critic. I don't get a big head at all with him in my life. Actually, with everybody in my life, There's no, they're afraid if they say that's a good job, I'm going to just rest on that and not come up with any new material. So they're always on my ass to, keep creating. These people are spending a lot of money to come and see you. They paid for parking, babysitter. This is my father. I'm 50, and this is what he's telling me. That they paid for parking. What? So, yeah, I always try to give my best up there because I know, people coming out to see me is not, people coming all the way from whatever, New York to Atlantic City tonight to come and see me. So I want to make sure they get a great show.
This wing is very, very hot.
Okay, great. I tell already, it's going to be a problem.
It's immediate. Yeah.
It's fucking awful.
It never gets any easier.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to
I'm
apologize.
sorry. Has anybody ever taken their clothes off on this thing?
Why, do you think you might be breaking new ground here?
No, this is,
I can see it. I know. I know.
I'm crying.
It's a natural reaction on the show, and then this is where I'll just say be careful around the eyes. Naturally you'll want to swipe, but you've been eating. You don't want to mace yourself, all right?
All right.
And don't worry while you absorb that. This has a nice long wind up. So I reached out to a mutual friend of ours, Joe LaPuma. Yeah.
No, 1 second. I don't know if you guys are feeling this in the room, but I feel the room is nervous. Are you feeling that? Okay, sorry, Joe LaPuma.
Yeah, I reached out to Joe LaPuma to see if he had any dirt on you while preparing for this interview. He was very tight-lipped, did not want to violate the trust, but did let it slip that he'll sometimes work as a DJ Khaled interpreter for you.
Yeah.
So on this wing, what I want to do is bounce a few DJ Khaled quotes off of you, just to see if you can maybe try to explain the greater meaning as best you can. Does that sound good?
All right, let's do it.
All right, first things first. To my fans, I promise you, if I quit, it doesn't mean I gave up. What do you think that means?
This is why I need an interpreter. I'm like half in this, half out of it, to be honest with you.
No, I know.
I'm listening to the question, but then I'm wondering, when is there a tear gonna drop?
Yeah, no, I get it, and that is a totally normal reaction to be. I get a little weightless around this time. You know, I get a little floaty. How about this one? The key to more success is cocoa butter. Agree or disagree?
You know what? It is cocoa butter for me. I put some on this morning, and feel great, and feel like my career's gonna take off.
How about this? You gotta water your plants. Nobody can water them for you.
You gotta water your plants, because no one's gonna water them for you. You know what? Someone waters my plants.
There's a hole in the logic on that one. I got one more for you. Them doors that was always closed, I ripped the doors off, took the hinges off, and when I took the hinges off, I put the hinges in the fuckboy's hands.
Wow. Wow.
He said that on this show.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
And what was your response to that?
In the fog, it's like, you know, a door being closed. That we all know.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm going for opportunity. I'm grabbing doorknobs. None of them are open for me.
Yeah.
You know, like the door doesn't open.
I get that.
right?
Yeah. He opened the door. He ripped the door off the hinges. My question is, who's fuckboy?
So I think fuckboy is the guy who kept the door closed on you, right? So it's like they're gonna close the door on me. They're gonna lock the door on me. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rip open the door, but I'm not even gonna stop there. I'm gonna take the hinges off of the frame. And then I'm gonna give the hinges to the person who is closing the door in my face. But that's just me kind of freestyling it. I don't really know.
That was a good freestyle. God, dude! Whatever that means. Dawson's hot sauce.
Kind of sweet up front.
I don't know what to tell you.
After you get through the last one, nothing's that much of a block, you know?
It was so bad. I gotta say, the bomb was so bad that didn't feel at all bad. I don't know if it's just adding or just kind of the same.
Yeah. Well, I think the bomb kicks open that door, rips the hinges off, puts in the fuckboy's hands. You can walk through anything after that.
I gotta tell you, what a great callback. What a great callback.
From boxing rings to fine dining restaurants to dry cleaners, what's the most bizarre venue you've ever performed comedy in? And what, if anything, do you remember about how the show went?
There was a boxing ring in, Manteca, California. Is the heroin capital of the world, I believe. And I'm in a boxing ring with a bowling alley behind me. So this is when someone said, hey, we got a gig for you in Manteca for $100. You want it? You know, where's Manteca? You just got into the boxing ring. People were watching sports. And you go, hey, everybody. And then people are like, oh, what's going on? And you start doing comedy, right? But in the background, someone's picking up a spare, right? So you had bowling pins going down, you had drunk people at the bar watching sports, and then like comedy in a boxing ring with like fresh blood from the night before underneath your feet. So yeah, that was probably the worst. But you got to do those gigs. This is the problem with comedy today. Is I think with the internet, with the TikToks and the Instagram, maybe people aren't getting out there.
That experience, that kind of experience.
Yeah, you got to go through that. You got to go through that in order to handle the guy that's going to take his shirt off and wants to fight you 2 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need that experience. And sometimes today, I think that a lot of this experience happens in your living room and you're with a ring light. And you're doing whatever you're doing. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying live performance, there's no substitute. You got to put the hours in to be a seasoned comedian.
And at the end of the day, $100 is $100. All
That's
right, Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh, shaking it up. Okay, this is going to be just a tap. Are you getting that? Just a
there you go.
glaze.
Perfect.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. I know.
Not bad. It's not bad. The bomb killed me.
Right.
Killed me.
And then after that, everything's
Hold on,
scorched.
1 second. We got there's an after effect here on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I made it. But
It's like sauces when you talk about it, it's almost like they hear you sometimes, you know?
yeah, this definitely hurt me.
And to close things out, I think it's only right to celebrate the holiday with the Sebastian Maniscalco Guide to Thanksgiving straight from the source. What are your thoughts on guests bringing pre-prepared casseroles and side dishes? Like, is that a gesture of goodwill or just kind of gross?
If I'm hosting, let me handle it, all right? From front to back, I got the food. There's a lot of times people bring food in and the presentation of it is terrible.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It gets a little lost in transit there, yeah.
It's in some weird Tupperware or some weird, I don't like to see other people's dishware in my house.
I think that's a good rule to live by.
Yeah, I mean like cookies on a paper plate.
Uh-huh.
Keep it. Just keep it. Eat it in the car ride home. I don't want to see it. If I'm having you over, just let me do it. Bring a little wine or what have you. That's all I ask. But the food, just keep it. Keep it at home.
What do you think is the greatest of all time Thanksgiving dessert?
Thanksgiving. You know what? I like a nice pumpkin pie.
Classic.
Classic pumpkin pie. Never used to eat pumpkin pie as a kid. About 10 years ago, I started getting into pumpkin pies, and that seems to be my favorite.
And then finally, Seattle plus 8.5 against the 49ers on Thanksgiving night. Do you like the Seahawks to cover?
Yeah. I'll take Seahawks to cover.
Well, that's straight from the bookie right there. And look at you, Sebastian Maniscalco, taking on the wings of death, living to tell the tale, and now there's nothing left to do but roll out the red carpet for you. This camera, this camera, this camera, let the people know what you have going on in your life.
Well, besides the fact that I'm taking home a beautiful acorn from this show, I want everybody to tune in to Bookie on Max November 30th. And other than that, have a wonderful Thanksgiving and keep your shit food at home. Oh, man. Thanks for having me.
Hot Ones fans, it's been years in the making, but at long last, the next big thing in wings is finally here. Introducing Hot Ones Buffalo Sauce. Our spin on buffalo is a rich and tangy combo of cayenne peppers, distilled vinegar, and yes, real butter, which means that you can put Hot Ones buffalo sauce directly on wings, no mixing or melting required. It's the best damn buffalo sauce I've ever had in my life, but don't take my word for it. Camera guy Bill, Buffalo's favorite son, gives it 2 blazing thumbs up, don't you, Bill? That's a Buffalo Bill guarantee! Heatness.com, Heatness.com, that's Heatness.com to get your hands on the brand new Hot Ones Buffalo Sauce.